Cece, a couple of big updates on life. One update in a case we're filing in Arizona, and also work just in this latest Planned Parenthood report.
Yeah, so in Arizona, like we have told you, our listeners all along, after the Dobbs case, the fight to protect the lives of unborn babies doesn't stop. It goes to each state. So in Arizona, there was a law on the books pre-Roe that banned abortions with a life of the mother exception. And after Roe, that law was enjoined, stopped. And then after Dobbs, it was reinstated. So you have a law on the books that basically protects the life of the baby, bans abortion with a life of the mother exception. And this is the law that's now being challenged. And we are filing an amicus brief today supporting and arguing that the state indeed has a compelling interest in protecting the life of a preborn baby at all of its stages. So that's what we'll be filing today.
Holding it in my hands now. We'll put it up on our website when it's filed. But again, just to show you the breadth of the work the ACLJ is doing from issue to issue, whether it's the spying by the FBI and we're involved there in court with the FBI, whether it is a life in Arizona, we are in court battling for life. And CC, it's certainly a time we've got to battle for life because we had the great victory overturning Roe versus Wade, and we knew that that would send us into a whole new war in a battle in the states, like the case in Arizona. And about half the country, which would be very pro-life, and about half the country would be very pro-abortion. And Planned Parenthood is still conducting record-breaking numbers of abortions.
Yeah, so we always follow their yearly reports, and this is the 2021-2022 report that just came out, and they literally entitled it Relentless, and you better believe that they are relentless. Their numbers for the abortions that were performed, 374,155, and that's the second highest number of abortions ever. And then another kind of record-breaking number is they received over $670 million in taxpayer funds, and that is the most ever under this Biden administration. This is the most amount of money that Planned Parenthood has ever received from taxpayer funding. And this is an organization that operates with a revenue of almost $2 billion.
Yeah, we used to say they were $1 billion a year organization. They are now getting close to $2 billion a year, and that's because about, it's not even half anymore, but a decent chunk is coming from you and me. And that, of course, changes, Logan, because of who's in the White House.
Yeah, absolutely. It depends on where funds are going, what they're willing to do. Like the first thing that always happens is the Mexico City policy is always that one that's the first thing we're going to do. And that happens on both sides. It happens. I don't even know where that stands now in terms of, I guess it doesn't matter because
under Biden.
Under Biden, yeah. And that obviously is one of those that's a big talking point that flips. And obviously that's taxpayer funding international abortions that happens and all of those different things that can happen within it. So you see that when you do have a Democrat in office. And we try to fight back as much as we can. But I think it's also important for those who are wanting to still be on the front lines of life. Sadly, there's been a big group of people who saw that Dobbs happened, Roe was overturned, and they just checked out of the issue, thinking we won. And yes, to some extent, it was a huge victory. It can't be undersold how big of a victory it was for the pro-life movement. But it certainly didn't end. It's ended abortions in certain states. Not to say it can't come back, but it's certainly not the fight, the end of the fight. It's not game over for Planned Parenthood just yet.
I mean, think about it. In 2021 to 2022, CC, 375,000 children were killed by Planned Parenthood.
That's right, and that's the second highest number since they've been reporting. So, the battle is not over, absolutely. Children are still being murdered, and we still have to stand for life, and we're doing that on a national basis against Planned Parenthood, and we do it on a state-by-state basis as well, and we will never stop fighting to protect the life of the innocent unborn.